You're watching STV. Select for fun.
Hello, good morning Uganda, good morning Mother Africa, and hello to the world. Welcome to the first show, ladies and gentlemen. It is a beautiful cold Wednesday. It's very cold and rainy outside, so if you're trying to get out of your house, please endeavor to walk out with a sweater and make sure at least you are dressed the way I am. It is a Wednesday, the 18th of November 2020, counting down just 44 days to the end of 2020. Nze sijja kubabalira nnaku mpaka ng'omwaka guweddeko, naye nga nkimanyi nti bangi tukoleddemu losses. We didn't get what we expected to achieve in this year 2020. Let's hope that 2021 will be an amazing year. Era nga tuli mu kaseera ka byakulonda, kaseera ka campaigns. 2021, I don't know what exactly will happen. Many of us twakubanga obufaananyi nga tugamba primaries NRM obuvuyo obwalimu nga tugamba how will the general campaigns be. Naye ate tulaba at least there's no bloodshed, people are not fighting besides the tear gas. Anyway, we'll be discussing that later on. My name is Simon Chris Makanga. As usual, I am with...
Well, a very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Latifa, Hamid, and I'm sure you're surprised by what is happening on my face right now. But here's the concern. Our country, Uganda, has 16,563 cases with 306 new cases as of yesterday, something we should be scared about. And we have 150 deaths. Now, when we look at the COVID-19 situation in Uganda, we are at a point where even our medical workers are suffering from the fact that we have COVID-19 in our country. More than 3,000 health workers have died of the pandemic worldwide, and by November 10th, we have at least 1,070 health workers in Uganda who were confirmed positive of the virus. Now, when you see numbers such as these, and when you see the crowds that are forming in these particular campaign trails of the different political candidates, you ask yourself, what next for the country of Uganda? Now, the government of Uganda gave out masks, and when it gave out masks, it gave out government of Uganda masks, and schools reopened, students are in schools, and they gave them those masks. Now, students have been advocating for such masks to be delivered to them, and the question is, as we were looking at what category of masks to make, why did we not think of these masks? This and more will be coming your way on the first show.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Mwasuze muti abana Uganda mwenna abatugoberera obuterevu wano ku STV ngamusize wano musi ati Uganda nabo abali social media abantara w'amayanja menna tubebaza okuba nti mutwekuumira nga mutugoberera buli kanaku ku makya twewayo kuba tujja kupatuusaako ensonga zonna ezakoze amawulire na bino ebitambula mu ggwanga tubebaza okuba nti mubeera nga mutugoberera musigale nga mutambula naffe kubanga ffe tuli beetegefu okuba nti tubakola kitubaweereza akadde kannyogovu mukko obudde bwankuba enkuba y'okumakya ennaku zino etonnya naye nga tubasaba mubeere nga muli alaati enkuba bw'etonnya naye mulimu n'abakozi era abakoleramu abaana mwe bali abagala okuba nti bo batwala nga bajja ne bakima ebyammwe bye bataakolera so kiba kyakiza okuba nti weerinda okuba nti tobulizaako ate osobola okubeera ng'ozuuka ogenda oyiye kubanga obwavu mpologoma muteerwa nako ekola ki ekumalawo eri ekulya Chris alina bwayogera mu kaseera atubalira ennaku ze twakatambulako nezisigaddeyo so olina okuba nti oyongeramu amaanyi ennaku ezisigaddeyo byesuubiza okuba nti okola obituuseewa era olina kyotambuddeko tolina kyotambuddeko amanya Tarik Nkata nga bulijjo nange wendi era nga tugenda tubatwala mu mboozi ezakoze amawulire nnyingi nnyo weziri tuziina ninga tunagendako mu mboozi ezo Chris twava ku nsonga y'okuba nti biki bitanyumiza mu ggwanga lyaffe Uganda kati nange olwairo nzenkalese
webale tujjukiza
tutandikirawo
tandike naawe
nga nedda nze sigenda kuleeta kuba nze leero ngenda kukansabe nsaba Allah wekitiibwa abeere nga ateeka show yaffe n'abeere nga agiblessinga ate abeere nga twogeza ebigambo bitulina okuba nga twogera tuleme kwogera okusinziira ku ndowooza zaffe oba tubeere nga twogera ebyo bituufu erina okuba nga bikola ki gwe wenna alina obukosefukosefu Allah abeere nga akusuusa kuba ye muwonya alina obwetaavu Allah abeere nga tulekerawo okusaba ebitonde tusabe Mungu tujje obukiza mu bitonde aba tuteeke obukiza bwaffe mu Katonda kubanga yatujje tutumalira saba Allah abeere nga asobola okusasala ku nsi yattu Uganda ensi ebukasira gye tugendamu kaakazigizigi kaakalulu Allah aberenga atukuume atulerewo emirembe.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you so much. He started a conversation and then he wasn't keen on finishing the conversation. Naye Tarik.
Anedda.
Okay. Nze
Andi baga mugabi teyeseera kati nze
Kandikirao. Actually, today in the morning, the first thing I wanted to start the conversation on was the fact that Mulago medics have been able to separate conjoined twins, something that we haven't been able to do in Uganda for a very long time. And I'd like to applaud the team that had Dr. Phyllis Kisa as one of the medics that was involved in this operation, and the 20 medical specialists who were part of the team that helped separate these conjoined twins. It was a very, very, very long session that took them hours of hard work, because one thing you will know about conjoined twins is they're conjoined at the most critical point. With this particular conjoined twins that were separated, they were conjoined at the backbone. Now, the tail of their backbone were conjoined, including their private areas, which they shared, and also their blood vessels. Imagine that these Ugandan health doctors had the opportunity and ability to do this, whereas earlier on, we would have to export those cases and take them outside the country for them to be dealt with. So congratulations, the health team in Mulago, plus those who have tirelessly fought the COVID-19 pandemic, and that's where I am coming back to. Because if you look at what is happening in Kabarole, they have failed to manage the COVID-19 cases, because they're now at 23 cases only in Kabarole, and they said that their cases in total are 57 and 2 deaths. And the district health officials are saying this is hard for them because they do not have PPEs to manage these cases. Now, what are PPEs? PPEs are where you put on an overall that is in white, that covers you head to toe. You have a mask and you cover your eyes, just like I've done today, and that helps protect health workers. But seems like we haven't done enough to protect our health workers that are supposed to, in return, take care of us when we get a positive cases of COVID-19. Again, I'd like to thank Jen Ruth Acheng for managing the COVID-19 pandemic, although right now she's concentrating on politics. Maybe that's why PPEs are not available in our government clinics. But at the end of the day, the fight still rages on, and it's not only the medical workers that are going to fight. Me and you are supposed to be part of this war. That is what I thank my country for this morning.
Wow, beautiful one indeed. I want to first applaud doctors in Mulago for what they did.
Yes.
That is a very great job. I think it's going to put our medics on a certain level on the global, as Ugandans, we are going to be put in a certain position. We're going to be looked at as a nation with brains.
Definitely.
And it's true that Ugandan doctors are doing well outside Uganda. I, for one, I do have an uncle that it took him about 15 years to come back in Uganda. Even when he lost his dad, he was denied a chance to come back into the country because he was very vital in the United States. So that's how Ugandan doctors are valued on the global continent. But then when we come back home, it is the opposite.
True.
Doctors have to go striking for them to be thought about. There's an organization where Ugandan nurses are collected. Up to now, they were promised by the government. Their salaries were supposed to be increased, but even up to now, nothing has been done. And they gave an ultimatum of 90 days to the government that if there's nothing done, I think that ultimatum will elapse, I think in December, because 90 days are 3 months. If there's nothing that is being done for them, then they pledge to strike. But must we get to that level?
Last time I was speaking to Dr. Okwaro Buku, and he was the former chairperson of medical associations in Uganda, and he was telling me that the COVID-19 situation came as a blessing and also as a curse. And he says the way it came as a blessing in disguise for medical workers in Uganda is that the ICU units that have been created in all these clinics after COVID-19, that means they have increased the workforce in these medical health facilities, and that means even if COVID-19 goes, these things will stay and our health center will become better because of COVID-19. But why do we have to wait?
I think, yeah,
for
it's
COVID-19
true.
to wake
It is
us
very
up?
true. It actually until COVID-19 came as a blessing. And when you look at the silver lining out of the COVID-19, you get to realize that when the country was under lockdown, twalaba what are the essential things we need in the country. Kyatulagirawo nti kati emundu tezitugasa. Okay? Globally, COVID-19 yafukamiza ensi yonna. Ne kitulagirawo nti ddala ne wobeera ne nuclear, ne bobeera n'emmundu ezenkana zitya, ne bobeera n'emizinga egyenkana wa, mu kiseera kyali tekisobola kukolera. What would work best are the medics, the brains that could think so hard to the extent that we need to have a vaccine, we need to have a cure to this pandemic, we need to have ABCD to deal with the pandemic. Ebyo na byatulagirawo nti kati obulamu busolo tuva mu ngalo ne bugenda pup ninge mundu za mwezi zonna ne muzirekawo.
COVID-19 yayongera tuyamba nti yatuyenkanyankanya olwa abasajja abadde nga bafuluma ne bagenda etalambananya ne bajjanjaba bonga tebafayo kuba nti bafa mulayiro ga wano. Naye COVID-19 yabasibira yatusibira ffenna waneeno nga ne wolwala oba oli president oba oli prime minister olina kugenda mulago oba na clinic ekuli okumpi. So COVID-19 yatuyamba ebintu bingi okuba nti abantu bano bazibuka amaaso, naye the question is bazibuka amaaso ebintu bino bataddewo binasobola okubeera olubeerera oba twakaze buzi nti ngabe kaze emergency tubiteekewo binalastinga embeera tunagitambwirako Uganda tumanyi tugenda kudda ku level ya wansi oba ICU zizze tunasobola zimaintaininga sigale nga ziko twafuna ku kyuma kya kansa nekibeerawo ko ebyaddako mwabitegeegu ate tekikyakola ate sima kya breaking ate sima kyadaga kukanika kuvaawa. So byonna bitufunye mu COVID-19 tunasobola bimaintaininga nebeerawo omwaka gumwe 2-3 paka n'abazibu baffe ne babisanga.
Bisoboka if we can prioritize. The moment we stop majoring in the minors and then minor and the majors, nga tuzukuka ne tumanya kiki twetaaga ng'ensi, then everything can be done. If we manage to have at least about how many ambulances? 35. And now 15 is zatuuka. Okay? If it wasn't for COVID, probably wouldn't have them.
Omani, among the ambulances, we're also going to have a water boat as part of the ambulances that are going to come, and hopefully an air ambulance as well to try and manage the cases that are happening.
Air ambulance.
Tujirinze.
Sebo mukama wafe Haji. Watusuubiza air ambulance come 2021. Era ffe tujja kujjukiza mukama waffe. Tulinze air ambulance eyo. Katubire yakoma mbigambo watugamba omwaka ogujja inshallah tugenda funa air ambulance wane Uganda courtesy of STV chairman Haj SK Mbuga.
Now as we are starting the conversation, and our conversation definitely is going to be the campaign trail of the different political aspirants, and we know that today is what, the 18th?
Yeah, 18th.
18th, okay, I'm not too bad with dates. Today is the 18th of November 2020, and we know on the 18th His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni is going to be in Moroto because he has just finished his Acholi region. They call it Acholi region trail. Sub-region. Acholi is not a region, it's a sub-region?
Yes.
So the northern part is what? The northern part is a region. So
we have 4 regions in the country.
All right. So the Acholi sub-region has been completed by the president, and he'll be moving to Moroto soon as the NUP president will be going to Luka, Buyende, and Kamuli. And when we look at, I'm looking at the parties that have made the waves. We have FDC that is also going to be in, let's see, they've finished Oyam, Apak, Kitgum. They're now moving to Gulu very soon. And we know that just yesterday they were in Kitgum. And NRM was also in Kitgum, and we have that story for you. However, let's start with the conversation of Yoweri Kaguta Museveni finishing his trail in the Acholi sub-region. Let's look at that footage where Suhail is following the trail and giving you a 360 coverage of what is happening, and then to Komeo.
As the national resistance movement continues to traverse northern Uganda and to look for votes in Acholi sub-region, supporters of Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, led by the Kitgum district woman flag bearer Lilian Aber, took to the streets of Kitgum to show their support for the NRM in the area. Some supporters would also be seen sitting on the roads rejoicing in front of security personnel who only looked on. Other supporters in Kitgum showed their love and support for candidate Yoweri Museveni by going ahead to sweep the road as a gesture of paving way for the president, who was scheduled to have a meeting in Kitgum town. In the afternoon, leaders of the National Resistance Movement from the districts of Lamon, Agago, Pader and Kitgum met the president at Boma grounds in Kitgum. In his speech, Museveni asked the people of the Acholi sub-region to show him their support for the role he played in ushering in peace in the region.
So many people,
Down my pole.
you know, dying like as if. Now, the NRM has been here for these years, and as the Right Honorable KYAGULANYI was saying, since the defeat of Kony, the whole country is now peaceful.
Right Honorable.
Some of the leaders of the NRM from Acholi sub-region thanked the president for bringing development.
The youth need to be assisted in all forms of manner so that they can be able to sustain their lives and be able to look after their parents. As the youth become older, their parents become even much older.
And we need more and more support to enable to create a good business environment, because government cannot employ everybody. We need a good business environment.
In his speech, the vice chairman of NRM in northern Uganda, and Speaker KYAGULANYI, revealed that NRM will triumph in the election as it has done with each hurdle they are faced.
Your Excellency, this year, this country was under attack, but we were ready. Under your leadership, we were ready. Your Excellency, we were attacked by the locusts. We were ready. We defeated even the locust. Not by any magic, but by preparations we have made over the years. Our capacity is now resilient to deal with any situation under your leadership. Then the floods came. Then the floating islands started attacking our power dams. Your Excellency, your engineers responded with equipment that were already in place. We were ready.
President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has today finalized his campaign trail here in northern Uganda with this rally that was held today here in Kitgum. Museveni's message.
You can see the conversation, and from where he was speaking, President Museveni picked from there, and he talked about the peace that he brought in the region of northern Uganda, and he said that LRA was all the way in northern Uganda, and there was war after war, and people were being hurt, and his government brought the peace that people are enjoying right now. Now, away from President Museveni, as we're coming in the compelled trials and how the different candidates are doing in this campaign session, we see that unfortunately FDC and NRM clash. Now, we spoke about this a day before, and we said that there will be a clash between NRM and FDC if Electoral Commission doesn't come up and sort these issues before they get out of hand. And unfortunately, they got out of hand. Now, Amriat Oboy and his team were in Kitgum, as were the NRM supporters who were getting ready to go and also campaign in the same district. Now, EC, however, came up and said that NRM had come earlier than FDC to particularly give this date for their campaign trail, and FDC came in later than NRM, so NRM had the mandate to be there. Now, police, as you're seeing right there, was asking the FDC party presidential candidate Amriat to head out of Kitgum and go to Lamor. Now, as my colleagues will be telling you about what happened in there, there was a scuffle. Amriat was arrested, taken out of Lamor. He dodged police, left Lamor, drove back to Kitgum to their offices, and then they arrested him again. I mean, the fracas was terrible, and that is what we expected, isn't it?
Yeah, it's true. Ensonga yabadde ntufe twajogeddeko wano nti FDC egenda kubankira kuba FDC tugimanyi yo ebyayo bya defiance yatesobola kumala gagamba nti egenda kubackinga down ekireke baleme kugenda tulaba nga ate n'embeera gye neewuunya ku Amuriat Oboy abantu basooka ne bamunyomanyoma nti ayinza obutasobola kujjayo ekifaananyi kya defiance ya FDC gye bali bamanyi naye omusajja nakamulaba nga exchanginga emikono nga giyitinga
ng'aguguba.
ng'aguguba olwadde nagamba ataddewo embeeko kuba nti aguguba yafuta tusonokola nti ava n'emmotoka n'asindika emmotoka gamba olwandi omusajja kituufu ataddewo embeeko nyini FDC yetwagimanyirako so ekyo kyadde kisuubirwa nti FDC yalina okuba nti etuukiriza kuba yabadde etegese n'omukolo gwayo nga bagenda kuba nti ofisi zaabwe baziina era tukimanyi nti kitigumu eyo ebadde for 15 years now NRM bate giwangula NRM nga okuva is it 201 NRM tewangula ku kitigumu era n'incumbent yali olero Beatrice Anywa tukimanyi nti abadde FDC n'abadde yakrosa nadda mu NRM so ebadde stronghold ya FDC ne UPC so bibadde kyamwe amweta boyo okulaga nti bamuganda ogenda mu kitigumu yalina okukozesa amaanyi go n'okola nti atuuke kubanga eringa mmekka yaabe nga yina okulama nti atuukayo so kyankiza okuba nti FDC Hamid yalaze amaanyi ago okuba nti agenda naye nga ate ne NRM nayo yawula okuba nayo ng'ebakava eraga nti naye yalinamu amaanyi kati kuba gundi yavuddeyo neyeewaana Beatrice Anywa n'alaga nti FDC yali yawamba ekitundu ekyo oba opposition naye okuva we yasaana adda mu NRM kakifo kyonna bakikalinze yero abantu bonna atazokkiriza mu NRM naye ng'ate omulimu gukyali gw'amanyi okuba nti ddala Anywa byayogedde bisobola okuba nti abituukiriza kubanga toba nti opposition ekyalina amaanyi mu kitundu ekyo
njatandikirako ekyo ekyoyogedde ekya Honorable Beatrice Anywa. Honorable Beatrice Anywa is a manifestation of what President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni said a couple of years ago. We are government come 2021. There may not be opposition in this country. Eranga, it's in black and white. Bolaba all the divide that is between the opposition. Chikulagira all watu. Eranga, bolaba who could be the strongest opposition head apparently. Mbuza jagamba Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu yakutenga bendera ya opposition. Kati wenda abantu bonna abalanga bagezaako lingi z'omutwe. Nze ndabya ddala nga they are joking. And I have a question. Nechibuzo chenebuza. What happened to Colonel Dr. Kizza Besigye? Okay.
Well, Amrita Boy was speaking
what happened to him?
Yesterday.
At least we are supposed to see. We are supposed to see him participate.
Auntie Amrita Boy yesterday, he was speaking to the media Nagamba. One of the reason why Dr. Kizza Besigye Taliwo is they feel like they need to protect him from COVID-19 pandemic, but Bamuteke in a place whereby he won't be infected with the pandemic because he's their plan B. Katwalaba, if you have a plan A and you're already executing plan A, plan B has to be kept very safe for that when it comes, so that when it comes to a time when plan B has to be executed, plan B is not sick, plan B is not dead, plan B is not weak. And that is what they're planning.
Gundi, Amuria Toboy, President Bugundi, Dr. Colonel Kizza Besigye, yavayo na making a statement, yali very clear. Nagamba, tagenda kuwagira muntu, ayagala office. Agenda kuvayo kuwagira omuntu ayagala obuyinza. Nagamba yes for banga libadde naganga tunye ebanga dene opposition ebadde ne offices ngatuni nanga Kampala opposition ebadde ne offices nge Kampala yemuli naye bakozeeyo tebati balina buyinza which means nga ye agamba nti agenda kuwagira omuntu ayagala okutwala ekifo ekigenda okubanga kisalirawo eggwanga. So nze ndoza nokuza nti Amrita Boy bino byakola byonna ageza ku proving Dr. Kizza Besigye kituufu obuyinza akola ki
Actually, and when you see him do whatever he's doing, alinga yagalo kuproving a point that yes, I can also do it. Bulaba kati chamuyamba ne bamukwata ne bamujinatuka ku Chambugo awali electoral commission yatadde yesimbi amakanda during the nominations. Natuanga taina ngato. And he took advantage out of that. So buli kimu kyakola, you will see that he's trying to prove a point that yes, FDC is still in existence, but still there's a general problem in Uganda, not even Uganda, but in Africa, that all political parties are affiliated to individuals, that FDC cannot stand without Colonel Dr. Kizza Besigye.
Guys, no, I have refused to agree with you people.
Is it
you
true?
know why? No. Why I have refused to
imagine
agree
campaigns
with you
if Dr. Colonel Kizza Besigye,
you
know how, you know the crowd would pull.
What I have still refused to accept is that, see, the only difference and the way that these politics have changed is that where we are right now, NUP is the new kid on the block. And here's the thing about Uganda. The new kid on the block gives them hope. Olaba Dr. Kizza Besigye has been there how many times? 5 to 6 times. Kati, people are saying enough is enough. And by the time a person has been there 6 times and he has failed to stand 4 times, and he has failed to stand, it only shows you that he will not pass this time. And people lost hope in Kizza Besigye a long time ago. Wetuli, even when Kizza Besigye was there, he was going to pull numbers, but not as big as Robert Chagulanyi's numbers. So what I'm saying is, Amuriat Oboy has shown you, and he has proved a lot of people wrong on the note that political parties depend on a person. Actually, I feel like he has proved you wrong. If you look at Amuriat Oboy's sessions, when he was moving from Kampala to Soroti, where his first campaign was, the crowd that was following him was immense. It only shows you that people believe in the party, not the individual. Of course you can't. And for me, I think why you can't compare it is because of Robert Chagulanyi. Robert Chagulanyi is pulling numbers just like the way Kizza Besigye pulled numbers then.
But
and even if he was in the political field right now, I don't think he would have pulled as much numbers as Robert is doing.
Latifa, but what we need political parties are running. I think we just crowds na church was in it. Bintu bingi ebimiza wekibina. Dr. Kizza Besigye tasobola kuba nti omululinga out mu kintu kino kya FDC. Era bingi byachakola backstage. Era banje bingi bekyamwebuzibwako. Era singa Kizza Besigye abaisano n'agamba nti agenda kuwagira muri Amuriat Oboy. Ozo kwanga ate ekintu kyekyusemu. Wali numbers ina. Nera mulimu abantu abamu. Abana bakuvayo kuba nti bajja ekintu bakyenyigiramu direct because babuza Kizza Besigye ali luddawa.
Do you see a possibility of any coalition? Could there be a possibility of any coalition?
No.
Any coalition? No,
I want to say no, because here's the thing. DP is already coming out to say it's going to punish any of their members that go to support any other political party. And when a political party comes out to say something like that, it only shows you that it has no plans of forming a coalition. Now, when we look at...
Latifa, DP mu parties not inana kuogera ku nsonga era tusobola kugikola. Abantu basa ne bakulosa ne bava mu DP ne bagenda mu NUP. Nebakomawo. So kali DP bayogera ku nsonga president waba acting president vice president mukasambidde yabule nakyogera lwatu agenda kwogera Robert Chagulanyi
naye Robert Mao yaze
omukyala Kabanda n'agamba naye mwennyini we Masaka naye yabudde agenda kola era magana ne president Mao twamugamba era tugenda wa Chagulanyi.
And they had said
even DP leaders one and Chengira one.
But here's the thing. Robert Mao yagambye he has come out as the party presidential flag bearer and he has officially put it out that he's going to punish.
This is my prediction. Today is the 18th, right? Lero 18 ogwe 10 you can mark my words. Before 14th January, some candidates are either going to rally behind Bobi Wine or others are going to pull out of this race. Look, it is not yet even a fortnight. Lindako, tezinawera weeks 2 eza campaigns. Abamu fecho kunoonya obululu batanise kutandika batanise fundraising. Batanise kunoonya kati sente. Bali mu zaakedi, bali mu offices z'abantu. Tebali mu kugenda gye balina kunoonya bululu. Abalala bali mu kukaaba nti a campaign ziri more expensive than what we expected. Abalala gye balina okubeera olwaleero babeerayo nkya. Okay? So literally everything looks to be a mess. And in my prediction is that very soon we are going to see some candidates falling out. Abalanga bagamba wachiri katugende mabega wa Bobi Wine.
I think falling out will be an option because most of the members of parliament abagala to go behind Bobi Wine. Tewasobola kukwata bendera NUP bagambe I'm an NUP candidate. Kubanga jukira NUP has already picked candidates in those positions. So the only alternative they have is to stand behind the candidates that NUP has picked. And maybe if you say they're going to pull out and stand behind
even
them in
one
that
declared
route,
I think last week one declared Nagambans I have no problem even if Robert Chagulanyi wins still now
most of the presidential candidates have done that. Yes.
Tumukunde yayogera bunyi nagamba nti ye
don't be surprised.
Don't be surprised nga avudde mu kalulu. Mugisha muntu ari very clear nakata kyachogera nti there is still time okuba nti bakola kibe bakola.
But here's my question. Why are they playing?
Kiraba nengera akina mu birowoozo era gamba n'okulwawo kuvaayo yali adinze nga bagamba bagenda kukola ki kwega. So ekigambo kyokwegatta essaawa kisobola okuba nga kikola ojja kulanga abantu bavayo nga bagamba no today.
But here's my question. Why are they playing the cards that they're playing? Whatever what is going on is that maybe they're planning to confuse the NRM, but confusing that there are so many candidates, and then later they form a coalition. But here's the thing. Whatever, as you're doing this, you're even confusing the voters. Kubanga someone has already decided in their hearts and minds that because there's no coalition, I'm dying with FDC. Regardless of what happens, I'm dying with Amria Toboy. When they finally have a coalition,
then I don't know how it's
they can't do that. That means they're dividing the votes from the opposition side. Remember, the cake is already divided in like, I can't call it half because, okay, the NRM has taken a quarter of the votes already, and we're left with 3/4 to divide. Now we have different political parties that are there and independents. Katikwago independents, Ojakfuna Katumba Funako votes Tan, Obanya from his family. It could be more. It couldn't be more. And then you get Nancy, Simon Chris, you'd be surprised. Someone was saying,
Katumba, Willie Mayambala, Freddie Mwesige, Nancy Kalembe. Kwabo anigura batatisi.
Nancy alina crowd. Nancy alina crowd.
I go with Katumba.
No, it's just excitement.
Nancy alina crowd. I go with Katumba. The crowd is not because Nancy can do it. I think it's because
you remember during nominations.
You know how Nancy would surprise you guys.
During nominations, Katumba ngayogera keri banna mawulire. Katumba waye. Even he never yazze nabo.
Guys, I think the reason why Nancy could be elected, women and the empowerment move have come to realize that it is okay for a woman to become a candidate and become a president of the country.
Nancy.
And I have spoken to Nancy. I've had an interview with Nancy. She's a very smart young lady with a potential to hold a big office in the country. And it's not because I'm a woman and I believe in feminism, but it's because Nancy has a brain that is worth listening to. And if she keeps addressing her rallies that way, there are women like me who are on the empowerment move and I want to prove a point that will rally behind Nancy. I will prove you wrong when it comes to elections. Nancy again, I mean, if you compare it to Willie, and then there are people who are not even heard. Where is Kabuleta? He's one of the people if you look at the candidates, even John Katumba is heard more than Kabuleta. So there are some things that you look at on the round table, no gamba. At the end of the day, there are things that people look at when they're voting for people. John may get support from the youth who feel like he's bringing out the concept of the dream. At the end of the day.
But Katumba also jokes too much.
The thing is, he does. Yesterday, he was on the media saying that he's castigating media personnel who are portraying him as a joke. And he says it's not fair that is
even himself he looks at joke.
But you know that Katumba is getting more airplay than a lot of candidates.
Because he's exciting.
That is what I'm saying. He's exciting. And the more you look at him as a joke, the more he will surprise you.
Katumba, your result ya gundi. Yolutalo lwali mu parliament. Nga bakyusa constitution. Nga bakyusa when they were amending Article 102B. So Katumba is a result. So everyone would be excited to see a 24-year-old on the race.
Because it's going to teach these people a lesson. Ochitegeda, tosobola kuzanyisa constitution and you think they won't be a reprimand on what you do. Kati, you have a president, Katumba, who is 20 what? Next time you'll have an 18-year-old who has support from someone and who has money and who will come into the political field. You changed the constitution. You changed the
constitution. Ovuganya ne 20 so olaba
atete tunaba kulaba njagala a 90-year-old
aje
I'm ready to run this political arena.
Nira bakisobola okukolebwa sawa zino mu Uganda is abantu ne batuvudde okwegatta abula parties abantu bana abesimbyewo bajonenge forces ba forcing tukola rirani wabero rirani mu ggwanga lino.
What do you mean by a rerun?
Singa waba candidate omu baso nenkanya ne incumbent wodi bavuganya incumbent manfuzo kuba taweza percentage ya 51 plus tukutudemu wabe rerun ya kalulu then wale kata bagamba nti run tujizemu abona bagamba nti musulu moja tugenda wanene
They should have made that decision.
Nesaba zineno wakati bolaba bali mwenche muita ye ego yomu ayagala okulaga nti asobola okubeerawo nesinga baatuula ne bagamba nti yes tukize tugaane essabo zino ani aliko nti ebuna ate bannayuganda ennaku zino bageziwadde era nze mbabuya bannayuganda babuuse omuntu agenda okulonda Kyagulanyi yasalawo dda agenda kukyuka era omuntu alaga nti siasa edagala enkyukakyuka ey'omuggundu siasa kuna bagala enkyukakyuka alina gwagenda okulonda byamumanyi nolaga nti zindiwe nali mwagamba genda kunaki so ne bona ojja nogamba ogenda kuteekawo biki era bba tegenda sigala nga eresi eri wantu bameka babiri
mpozi nekirala I still have hope. I've not seen Dr. Kano Kizza Besigye come out and he's a very key player in these elections. So until maybe we see him come out, and I still believe that we've not seen his plan B come to reality. Maybe let's wait and see. That's why I'm saying that probably they could be.
If they don't win with the opposition, that's what you think his plan B will be.
What is that supposed to mean?
He's not meaning anything. He's literally saying.
Have you seen this video circulating on social media? Amoti Mbalanguzi, that comedian, yagenze nakola ka video nagamba. Bobby Wine, bolabanga bakubatia gas campaign ziganye. Genda ku police bagaye bakuye mundu nga musanvu.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's the thing. Robert Kyagulanyi is also running his campaigns, and very soon he'll be heading out of the eastern region because that is where he is right now. And yesterday, like always, Robert Kyagulanyi had tear gas following him wherever he goes. It's like that is his, how do I call it? His campaign word, the symbol. His campaign symbol is the tear gas. Literally, he should have put it on his poster as his campaign symbol. Where Bobby Wine goes, he has a very large crowd that they fail to control, and then tear gas happens. Now, a coalition yesterday that is a human rights coalition came up, and they were asking and condemning, it's a horse, they were condemning police brutality once again and saying it has to stop, it has to end, tear gas use has to stop, and they're saying that the SOPs put in place are bogus. Bagambye, what the SOP measures and the measures put up is doing to the Ugandan political arena is it's killing democracy. And that's what they say. Kubanga, they say at the end of the day, we have seen people violating the SOPs. And they're not going to control these crowds regardless of what they do. And all it is doing is hurting people. There's tear gas, people are being beaten, people are being hurt.
And
they say democracy is being ruined, and these SOPs need to
Olaba kino ekintu kya COVID-19 Tarik and Latifa. Kino ekintu kya COVID-19 ekituufu kiri nti bakyonoona. Right from day one. Because toyinza kuŋŋamba nti gwe Ssemaka w'ewaka oteddewo amateeka ag'ewaka ate g'omu gwagamenya. Definitely no one will respect you at home. So that's what exactly is happening. N'ekirala, maybe I wanted to challenge the Minister of Health. Okay? Gestation period. Bagita batya?
Gestation is a good one to use,
yes. For COVID-19 is 14 days. Tuli mu week je tugendamu yakumeka yakubiri. Katika tulinde by the end of this week shall we have a massacre of COVID-19 in the northern region. Okay? Because bonna abasinga batandikiddewa mu northern region. Crowd jone gitubadde tulaba ebaddewa mu northern region. Katika tulinde after 2 weeks, what exactly is going to come out in that region?
Does the 16,000 number represent what is happening in the political arena, or it's too small to represent what is happening in the political arena?
Too small.
Okay.
It's really
so we
too
expect,
small.
if it's meant to happen, then we expect what? A number of what? 20,000, 50,000?
Like
Tarik,
that.
what are you looking at?
Wakati yao. Naye botulida Robert Kyagulanyi ensonga gye betubogerako ey'okuba nti nno ye essaawa zino yaliko tukkiriza obagaana. Ate butudda gye yabadde mu Eastern Region wabadde instance y'okuba nti nno Honorable Watongola Allah musaasire ebyamusobako yafudde. Naye ate gavumenti etulaga nti nno yafudde COVID-19. Family yavudde openly. Bakuŋŋaanya ne bagamba nti no bakiwakanya omutanda bakufa ku ki? COVID-19. So ekyo kyatadde mu bwongo bw'abantu b'omu Eastern baba beebusoga nga baga nti ebyogera gavumenti eyinza okuba erina byezimbawo nga si bituufu. Kati kizibu nnyo okugamba nti ogenda bagaana okukuŋŋaana ng'olina ne katemba gwe bayita katemba gwe gw'oteekawo ne balaga obalemesa okuba nti bakola ki? bagenda eri omuntu waabwe recently abaddewo omukyala w'ebusoga naye yakunganye NRM bakunye babadde bamuyiga nga yakunganye kati tositolina kugamba ate banabe mayuga abantu obagana okuŋŋaanira kwani Bobi Wine so kigendako kizibu nnyo
ejo nabadde njogera n'omukuku navutamala emirundi he made a statement that I wanted to borrow yagambye bano ba Ministry of Health and the COVID-19 task force kate kyali abakkiririzaamu tebalina kye bayinza kwogera ne bakikkiriza Jane Luther Cheng yasooka okula ddala okyonoonera ddala ne tulaba Anite bonona bali ku side ya NRM so yakoze statement n'agamba nti the best idea that would come out is okusooka bonna task force yonna n'ogiyiwa n'oleeta abantu bapya
but no it's true because olaba
ne minister bonna n'obayiwa n'oleeta tiimu mpya
ali in politics Oshegera, once you're the Ministry of Health, of politics, because you're already preaching against what you're doing. You're already saying people shouldn't have a gathering. Now you're in politics, that means you're not going to refrain from having a gathering. Now how are people supposed to trust what you're saying when you yourself is not practicing it? So it's a question that needs to be asked and Tamale's words. He's always extreme, isn't he? But he may be right about that. For people to trust that there's COVID-19 and trust the system, nobody in that particular category has to be in politics. To be fair.
Bolaba ensonga ya COVID-19 n'enkungana nti ina abantu bekolako abantu bakolako. Wano juzi twalabye empya twali kifo kino kyennyini. Alan Sewanyana ali kitali essaawa zinene nenge agenze lwa COVID-19 yakuba olukungana emulungwa nga n'abantu basinkanye ne bajja ne police agenda gamba olukungana tuli mu mateeka era breaking the SOPs ne bajja ne badispersing abantu badduka nene mukudduko ono bakwatako abantu be bana so yagenze ekibuye ku police okuba nti aba bailing out ne bampe bukumi munda tiyetu weka tuwe tukunoonya buru straight away mu kooti era kati ali kitali so nolaba nga ate waliwo balala abakubye enkungana bonga muteka kigaba kutte
ati bana Uganda balaba
bana Uganda balaba kati ebintu ng'ebyo labanga mbutuufu you can't preach against what you're doing gwobyogera ne you walk the talk
recently bebe kulu ba Catherine Kusasira bano babajjo bonna bali Arua you saw a crowd but I didn't see any can of tear gas being pulled out
obayo nangamba apancho sina na kufoisa kigambo ekyo nti aba candidate ndibagana ba candidate bebe kulu candidate
katika anonya chimukalwa
kama naona wewe bali nyanyonya chimukalwa so tume kubuzabuze eggwanga lutambuze mbeje no batuiza mbonga ya mazima bukiwa teri nkunga ndibenga teri nkungana
if it's there, they open up the political arena. Actually, today I'm actually on the same page. After seeing what is happening, because at the end of the day, they have failed to control the NUP crowd. They have tried and they have failed. What next? Can the Ministry of Health come up and give us the next thing to do with this situation that is going on? Because it looks like there'll be no change in the NUP camp. It's going to continue like that and then until time immemorial. So what is the solution?
Police yakoze, I don't see it. I don't think that solution will also be valid. Bavde ni bagamba nti bagenda kugoba badde pisa balemedde okola ki okudispersing a crowd ne bagamba bagateeka ebizindalo ku motoka ya police nti basooke bayiseyo the prior announcement before they pull out the tear gas and the bullets and whatever nti kati bajja bagamba mwabe ggulu mwabali abwe kuŋŋaanidde wano muveewo muyite wano tugenda kuba wano tear gas ataveewo gwomanyi. So I mean, I don't see it happening. People are chanting their candidate. Goli mukuyisa bizindalo.
Bwe tandika wano police azanyiro mbozi ya NRM. Ngola abantu bukaseera president yadaitanga bagenda bere kubo. Ninga bakunganye ku makubo. Tutoboti ya gas. Ninga babera bangi. So ebintu binentu.
But to be fair, they're not as many as the NUP.
No.
However, my concern comes back to the fact that SEC says that bagena disqualifying a candidate.
No, tesobola.
Abatali mu kugoberera amateeka.
No.
But here's the question.
Chairman of the Electoral Commission is a lawyer, he's a judge, okay?
But because here's the question I was asking. How do you gauge between the candidate calling the people to come and the candidate telling them don't come, but they come. It's not easy for them, and they cannot do that because they're going to have an uprising that will be beyond them to manage. And I don't think that's a solution to this problem. I think the solution is the person who started the guidelines, and that is the Ministry of Health. Otandi say, stop what you have started and look for a bigger solution. Increasing the number to 200 is not a good enough solution, as we've seen. It worked for a short period of time, but it's not going to work.
And what reasons are they giving? Why not 50? Why not 70? And why 200?
Well, because they have
why
seen,
not 500 or 1,000?
They have seen the energy and zeal that people have in this politics, and they knew it was coming. It's not like they hadn't seen the political, arenas and the political field that we've had before this. The campaigns are crazy. But take it, even now people have calmed down in their campaigns. We had crazy campaigns before this, and I miss them. The music, the dance.
Anyway, I also missed taking a break, and we promise you that we'll be coming back later on. But for now, the first show takes a break. Good morning.
You're watching STV. Select for fun.
Credible, bold and accurate. You can trust us to add professional context and in-depth analysis to the web of current affairs every week. Share an experience with those that saw it happen. A blend of opinions from journalists, subject experts, and involved participants. The Newsroom, breaking down the weekly top stories. Join us at 9:30 p.m. every Saturday, only on STV.
Hey guys, you're watching STV. Select for fun.
Abutereva amacha malungi mwena bagenda maaso n'okubanga mulaba STV abamu ku mendoza amacha si malungi enkuba ekedde kutonnya abamu tubalese waka nga beebase abala tebalina bye bayita amazzi gasazeeko era tubakubiza abantu ababeera mu ntobazi eyo mubeere nga mwegendeza naddala ababuuka emyala nga mugenda ku mirimu emyala kati gyaboozi tosobola kumanya kkubo na mwala so mube nga mwegendereza egwa omwezi tukyali mu gwa Museenene ennaku z'omwezi zizo zigendedde 18 omwezi tugukubye olukumu tweguweddeko n'omwaka nagwo guweddeko so kati njagala batwaleko ebweru w'eggwanga era naye saagala batwala wala njagala tugende mu ggwanga erya Ethiopia. Eggwanga erya Ethiopia nga bwe tukimanyi ffenna waliyo okugugulana kw'amaanyi era nga Ssaabaminisita w'eggwanga ero olunaku olw'eggulo yabaddeyo n'ategeeza nti yawadde abayeekera bano abali mu mambuka eyo mu kitundu ekimanyiddwa nga TIGRAY yabawa ennaku 3 zokka zokka okubeera nga bateeka wansi ebyokulwanisa beeweeyo mu mikono gya gavumenti naye ekyebaganye okukolera ategeeza nti ennaku 3 zaweddeko kati agenda kubaggulako olutalo olw'amaanyi nga bwe tukimanyi mu ggwanga erya Ethiopia waliyo okugugulana wakati wa gavumenti eya wakati ne gavumenti mu mambuka eyo ey'ebitundu emanyiddwa nga TIGRAY nga bwe tukimanyi nti eggwanga erya Ethiopia liri ku nfuga ya federal abasinga mu Uganda wano gye bakayanira ebitundu byefuga enkola eno eya federal ebitundu byefuga okusinziira ku nzikiriza zaabwe ne gye bava n'ensibuko zaabwe n'ebika byabwe ne baba nga beefuga era babeera n'ensalosalo ne boundaries ne gavumenti ezibafuga newankubadde baba ne gavumenti eyawamu nga bulaba eggwanga erya Amerika balina amasaza mangi so kati abantu abo baba ne gavumenti ezibafuga mu bitundu byabwe naye nga balina gavumenti eyawamu so kati mu ggwanga lino erya Ethiopia nabo bali ku nkola y'emu balina gavumenti eyawakati ebafuga ne baba ne gavumenti ez'ebitundu eza federal ezeegattira wamu ne bakola eggwanga erya Ethiopia nga bwe gambye Ssaabaminisita oyo ABIY yavuddeyo n'awo abayeekera bano ennaku 3 yagambye zaaweddeko era bagenda kati kutandika olutalo olw'amaanyi ennyo olw'ensonga abantu bano balinga abaagala okweyawula ku ggwanga lino erya Ethiopia nga tebakkiririza mu Ssaabaminisita oyo aliko nga bwe twogerera abantu 10,000 batandise okuva mu ggwanga eryo nga bambuka boolekera Sudan eyo mambuka eyo Sudan gye tumanyi olw'ensonga nti baagala okwabulira ekibambulira era nga bawera ddala emitwalo 27 amaze okufuluma eggwanga erya Ethiopia olw'okutya okuli mu maaso eyo era ng'olunaku olw'eggulo n'abalazeeko Pulezidenti wa Kenya Uhuru Kenyatta yavuddeyo n'ayogera ku nsonga eyo. Pulezidenti waffe wano eno yasisinkanako minisita weeyo ow'ensonga ez'ebweru ne boogera ku nsonga ezo kwegamba bonna beeraliikirivu olwaki ekigenda mu maaso mu ggwanga erya Ethiopia. Ekitongole kya UN oba ekitongole ky'ensi yonna ekyo ekyamawanga amagatte ekya UN nayo kyavudde ne kigamba kiri mu kuwunyiriza akasambattuko k'abantu akayinza okubaawo kwegamba kali unfolding tebamanyi ki kigenda mu maaso mu ggwanga erya Ethiopia olw'ensonga mu region eyo mambuka ya Tigray tewakyalina byampuliziganya byasaliddwako teri akubayo simu teri mawulire gavaayo okujjako ngomaze gendayo physically ekintu ekizibu ennyo ne gavumenti yennyini efuga ensi eyo temanyi ki kigenda mu maaso mu mambuka. Ku Mande ku bbalaza ya Sabbiiti eno nabalaga waliwo baasi eyasalwako bannamagye abatamanyika ne batta abantu 34 babakuba amasasi abalala ne bagendera ku bisago wabula bano ab'ekitundu kya Tigray bo beegaana ne bagamba sifa abakikoze abantu bwe batyo ne bafa obwemage terina omu paka kati amanyi lwaki bafa naye ng'okulwanagana kuno kwatandika nga Novemba ennaku z'omwezi zaali 4 gavumenti eno eyawakati yavaayo n'egamba ekitundu kino ekya Tigray balina political party oba ekibiina ky'ebyobufuzi ekimanyiddwa nga Tigray People's Liberation Front nga kyekifuga mu mambuka eyo bavuddeyo bo baategeka okulonda gavumenti yawakati kwegamba nti kumenya amateeka tekwali mu mateeka ne bavaayo ne bakola n'obulumbaganyi ku nkambi y'amajeemu ne babba ebyokulwanisa wabula abantu bano aba political party oba ekibiina ky'ebyobufuzi bavuddeyo bo ne baba nga babiganye era nga bwe gambye Ssaaba Minisita yalangiridde olutalo ku bantu bano na buli muntu yenna agenda maaso n'okuba nga awagira abantu mu ggwanga oba mu mambuka eyo mu Tigray era ng'abantu bano okwegamba wabaddengawo okugugulana kw'amaanyi olw'ensonga abantu abava mu Tigray oba ab'ekika ekya Tigray mu mambuka ga Ethiopia bebadde bafuga eggwanga eryo okuva emabega yonna yonna nga bwe bajja balifuga avaako n'addako bwe bafuga wabula mu mwaka gwa 2008 omwami oyo bwe yajja mu buyinza Abiy Ahmed omwami oyo wa ggwanga ddala era eggwanga eryo liri masekkati babayita ba Oromo ngamba eggwanga tribe nga bwe tulina Abaganda tulina Abakiga n'abalala ngaabo so eggwanga erya Oromo omwami oyo mwava wabula tebakkiriziganya na bukulembeze bwe ate nga kwegamba ekyasinze okuleetawo obukubagano buno omwami ono kwe kwongezaayo okulonda olw'ekirwadde ki coronavirus eyavuddeyo n'abanga okulonda ko omwaka guno baagujjayo ne bakwongezaayo ku ddeeti etannaba kumanyika olw'ensonga nti tebaagala bantu bakuŋŋaana obulwadde bugenda kukola ki ebugenda kubatta so kati kino kyekyaviiriddeko abantu bano okubanga banyiivu nnyo nga tebakyawuliriza gavumenti ne bagamba omukulembeze ono aliko Abiy Ahmed kwegamba takkirizibwa kubanga akola ki takkirizibwa kubanga ali mu buyinza olw'ensonga nti singa yavaako banga omulala yagendako so kyekigenda maaso mu ggwanga erya Ethiopia tetumanyi kikiriwo naye nga bwe gambye balinga baagala okweyawula ku ggwanga eryo era ng'okulwanagana kw'amaanyi bantu bangi bafudde bo kati bali bakutte emmundu ne bayingira mu nsiko era bafuuse bayeekera bwe twogerera bwe tuvaako awo ne tweyongerayo mu ggwanga erya Amerika ewamu naffe Donald Trump omwami oyo Donald Trump gwe mumanyi oyo Donald John Trump myaka 74 yagaana okukkiriza nti nno bamuwangula akalulu yavuddeyo n'abanga alina omwami gwe yagobye omu ku abo abakola akakiiko k'ebyokulonda yavuddeyo ndowooza n'awanika ku Twitter ye ng'alaga nti ebyava mu kulonda tebyalina buzibu bwonna era pulezidenti byayogerako si bituufu omwami oyo Trump yavuddeyo n'amugoba era omwami oyo amanyiddwa nga Chris Krebs teyategedde nti bamugobe nga tumanyi Trump agenda bugenzi ku Twitter ye ekiro eyo nga yeebase n'abaako gwagoba mu gavumenti era omwami oyo tebamuwanikidde ebbaluwa eri awo ntongole mu Trump yagenze ku Twitter ye n'abanga yawandiseeko obubaka n'agamba amugobe era omusajja bayadde akedde egenda mu ofiisi yasanze wasibe ne bamugamba tewalabye tweet nga Trump yamugobe kyekika ky'omukulembeze oyo gwe balina mu ggwanga eryo eri Amerika nga bwe tumanyi ye yawakanya ebyava mu kulonda nga bwe twogerera omunafu oyo Joe Biden kwegamba alina obululu bwa Electoral College buli mu 3 kati mu 6 nga Trump yakyali ku 214 era ng'obululu abantu bakyagenda mu maaso n'okubala obululu bwali bungi bakyabala mpolampola mu states ez'enjawulo Trump ye yagaana okukkiriza kati abantu bonna mu ggwanga eryo beebuuza tebamanyi kikigenda mu maaso Trump wanaalemera mu buyinza kyeki olw'ensonga mu ggwanga lya Amerika tekibangawo kiri unprecedented tekibangawo president kulemera mu buyinza ng'abadde bamuwangudde n'agaana kati nabo bali mu kusomoozebwa ng'ensi yonna bwe yeebuuza kyekigenda okuddako Trump nga alina okuva mu White House naye ng'alemeddeyo era abantu bangi abazze bagobebwa bwe batyo wiiki eyo wedde wali omwami amanyiddwa nga Mark Espera yagobebwa yali wa Department of Defense n'agobebwa era nga waliwo okwegamba n'okugeresa nti nga Trump tanava mu ntebe agenda kuba agobye akulira FBI amanyiddwa nga Christopher Wray n'omukyala akulira ekitongole ekya CIA amanyiddwa nga Gina Haspel. Waliwo yatugambye nti waliwo omwami omu mu Uganda naye ng'akolera CIA sijja gendayo eyo naye mukama we n'ekiteeberezebwa ayinza okugoba. Trump agenza agoba buli muntu tetumanyi ki kigenda kuddamu wabula munnaffe Joe Biden alina okulayira omwaka ogujja ng'ennaku z'omwezi 2 katulabe biki ebinaddirira. Trump analemerako analemera mu White House ki ekinagenda mu maaso tetumanyi tujja kuba tubabuulira ebigenda mu maaso. Sigenda sukkawo wano nze Adams Mayambala era mbagayiza olunaku olulungi sijja kwerabira executive producer waffe Haji SK Mbuga kwali nnyonnyo ne Usina Afeti wano naye kwali kale mbere bulungi mfuna olunaku olulungi ze Adams Mayambala.
Watching STV, select for fun.
Credible, bold and accurate. You can trust us to add professional context and in-depth analysis to the web of current affairs every week. Share an experience with those that saw it happen. A blend of opinions from journalists, subject experts, and involved participants. The Newsroom, breaking down the weekly top stories. Join us at 9:30 p.m. every Saturday, only on STV.
At exactly 8:45 p.m. East African Standard Time, join me, Elijah, to Yagman Awakening, putting focus on current affairs, be it political, social, or economic news. We shine a spotlight on our beautiful Uganda, the Pearl of Africa, providing information that is age-cutting here on STV with select news.
A small girl child can be a daughter, a sister, a mother, or a wife. That means at the end of the day, every girl child matters a lot in the society. Here is the show that brings back hope, courage, determination to the girls out there. Like Joe Crow says, it rains harder on people who need the sun more. So to every girl that is going to be watching this show, say no to the rain and welcome the sun in your life.
Hey guys, you're watching STV, select for fun.
Well, a very good morning. I come to you with what's happening in the world of business. Between 2019 and 2020, internet penetration in Uganda increased by 3.57%, and there was 357,000 more Ugandans joining the internet and enjoying the cyber connection. Well, today we're going to be casting an eye on the digital importance and innovations to see where Uganda is standing as of today and what direction it is taking in as far as utilizing digital platforms for businesses concerned, but also involving the concept of financial inclusion. In studio today, I have Mr. Innocent Kawoya, who is going to be joining me. He is the founder, rather co-founder of High People. You're welcome to the STV studios this morning.
Thank you, sir. Good morning to all the viewers. I'm not sure whether everyone is living a morning life. Some people might be running their nights. So
Absolutely.
Yeah,
but it's a morning
yeah.
for people living in the East African Standard Time.
Yeah, sure. Good morning, everyone. I'm happy to be here. Yeah.
Thank you for greeting me. But let's dive into the gist of the matter already.
Yeah.
I understand you are a political aspirant, but we're not going to be delving on that mostly. Looking at financial inclusion and high people, let's first of all demystify high people for a better understanding of the viewers. What is high people? What does it stand for?
Yeah. Thank you so much. High People is a 15 years old brand, born in Uganda, started as a website. We started 15 years ago in Makerere University as a social entertainment platform. And one of our roles was to make sure that we disseminate and create a platform for local content to the world, starting with the diaspora, because by then connectivity and internet adoption was really very low in Uganda and Africa as a whole. So 15 years ago, we started www.highpeople.com, a very inclusive social entertainment platform that was open for everyone. And so many things happened from that time.
Looking at high people on the agenda of financial inclusion, what is your target? The fact that only 42% of Ugandans can access and use the internet. What target are you looking at?
Yeah, and you don't go to a speed. You're taking me at the speed, and I don't want to talk about high people, and I don't talk about the story.
Absolutely.
Financial inclusion and internet and all that are connected and disconnected at the same time. Why? Because one, for any economy to achieve full financial inclusion, in this age and time, one of the things that has to happen is connectivity. And this shouldn't have to be internet connectivity. It is mobile connectivity, to say. It is making sure people have GMS connectivity, devices that can call, that can receive SMS. And when they're able to do that, then we're able to create innovation that work with the same ecosystem. But what has been happening, speaking to high people and our role in playing a very vital role in helping Uganda and the world achieve full financial inclusion, is our role in ensuring people use internet, people use websites, social media platforms and all that, was geared to making sure that there is what they call digital inclusion and adoption of digital tools for communication and for many other things. And I mean, when there is something that is being used vastly, what happens is innovators begin thinking of how to better make use of it. And that's what happened 14 years ago. As the world was thinking about people using internet, people like Dr. Warren, like Susie Loney, like Michael Joseph, like Nick Hughes, were in Nairobi thinking about how to use phones to disseminate loans to different people in Kenya. And as such, what happened was mobile money was invented. So when mobile money was invented, it was not creating new rails, but rather reinventing rails and creating more usability, creating more access for financial services by using something that was being used by millions of people, the mobile phone. And what happened in the end, the mobile money that was supposed to be a P2P service today translates into a usable banking service. Today, mobile money across Africa represents an inclusion of more than 467 people into the formal financial ecosystem. In Uganda alone, mobile money represents more than 23 million mobile wallets. And this is to say only mobile money accounts. I'm not talking about the bank accounts that have been opened as a result of mobile banking and all that kind of stuff. But in a nutshell, the journey to achieve financial inclusion using technology had to happen after people having mobile phones. And I mean mobile, as we say in Africa, that Africa is more of a mobile-only economy. It is very true to the fact that even when the banks tried as much as possible to do training, to do sensitization of the citizens of Africa, it was never flexible and affordable for them to include as many people as mobile financial services are. And that's where we come in handy. But I mean, there are many things that happen around that same space. In the end, someone will ask you that what inspires mobile financial services? What inspires digital financial solutions and services? Yeah? What inspires mobile banking? And someone will tell you there is something called financial technology or fintech.
Well, thank you for that submission, Mr. Kawe. And maybe perhaps sometimes you sound a little bit more sophisticated for the understanding of the public. I'll ask you a very simple question as a fintech expert. In this day and age, what do you think are the opportunities that financial technology has, or rather, what is the role of technology in finances today?
Thank you, Elijah. What is happening is there's something we call inclusive finance. Yeah, in our terms of financial inclusion and our advocacy terms, even technically, we speak about inclusive finance as ways of deliberately using technology to make financial services more accessible to those who couldn't have them. But take a case of somebody that sells honey and they live 500 miles from Kampala, and they need to sell honey to the people who live in Kampala, because someone who lives in Kamdin might not have the money to buy, the purchase muscle to have them buy their goods. Yeah? And what is happening is that you need to pay them in real time. And how you have to pay them is you need to send them money. Yeah, you don't need to tell them I'm sending to your account and all that. I mean, and for them, they need to receive their cash somehow. So we live in that space where I have a mobile wallet, someone has an agent, a mobile money agent. At least every single district in Uganda has a minimum of 15 mobile money agents. That is for a fact. So they trust those people because they're people who have money every time. And it is very simple for Elijah to buy honey. Why? I will send money to the agent if the person selling has no mobile wallet. And they will be notified that the man has been paid, and the honey will be put on a bus. And I will not need to move there anytime. The same scenario happens everywhere, in the markets, with the borders, with hospitals and all kind of stuff. And I mean, we are thinking and devising ways of making sure that, one, we begin creating financial history for everyone. Because I was telling my colleagues this morning, I was telling George and Arthur and Tina, that see how funny it is for someone to live in a space where they make money, but they have nothing to tell anyone about the money they make. I mean, you earn 10,000 shillings every day, but nobody knows you earn the money because there's no track record. You have nowhere to bank it and all that, yet you have a mobile phone. So one day you want a loan from a bank, but throughout the year you make 10,000 shillings. Every single day we have 365 days. So meaning you've made 3.65 million within the year. But when you need the loan, the bank will ask you that, how much money do you make every day? Right? So because they don't see it anywhere, you can't prove to people that you make 10,000 shillings any day. So you cannot get a loan of 500,000, yet you can afford to pay it.
Very true.
So inclusive finance comes in that space for that reason.
Okay.
Yeah. So if somebody makes 10,000 shillings, even if they withdraw it the next day, but as long as they keep track of the income and make sure they keep it on a wallet, the next day what will happen is when I need a loan of 300,000 shillings, I'll walk to a financial service provider and tell them, check my statement. Yeah. If people want to travel and go to China and do some bit of trading, yeah. If someone is trading every single day with their mobile money account or mobile banking account, they don't go to embassies anymore and they ask them for financial history and they don't have. Why? Because they have a wallet that they can show. And I mean, it is now widely and globally considered as an eligible form of financial statements, financial information.
Very true. Now, Innocent, you cannot talk financial inclusion and financial familiarity in fintech without discussing the very critical issue of cybersecurity. How do you make the public familiarize with fintech and get comfortable with those transactions on digital platforms? in the digital, or rather cybersecurity perspective, what are the various approaches that you put in place to make sure that you safeguard every individual's transactions online?
Yeah, thank you, Elijah. Now, what happens in our space is, for instance, yesterday, High People released the nominees for the 7th edition of the Digital Impact Awards Africa. And the awards celebrate innovations and awards excellence in the space of digital inclusion, financial inclusion, and cybersecurity. And today, you might not find any category directly geared to cybersecurity, but you'll find that as part of the criteria, every single category has an element of cybersecurity. One thing that we do is we urge every single stakeholder in the ecosystem, the financial ecosystem, to ensure that they keep track of financial security tools. That one, before a customer takes precaution of making sure they secure their PIN code and all that, the services are secure enough to avoid fraud, to avoid hacking of malicious users, and to avoid some instances that would cause distrust for the systems. On the other side, as High People and as advocates of financial inclusion, we do as much of information dissemination around cybersecurity, around people making sure that they understand the importance of keeping their accounts secure. I mean, it is with no doubt that today a mobile money account is equally as important as any other banking account. Why? Because I can get a loan of 1 year on my mobile money wallet. I can borrow money for a month using products like Mocash, Weole, and all that without having to walk to a bank and in no time, simply because I have a national ID and I have a registered SIM, and all I need to have is some credit history and I'm assessed. You get my point? So we'll keep urging businesses, every single business, to tell their customers, yes, we use these digital tools, but let's make sure they're safe. I mean, the fraud and all that and all the other challenges that happen with digitization happen everywhere in the world. I read about so many stories, especially in the UK, where children buy apps using their parents' cards without their authentication.
Of course, you put into picture smartphone, or I don't know if you need a smartphone for each and every digital online transaction, but you put into context phone penetration in Uganda, which I believe in fintech is still a major challenge, the fact that smartphone penetration in Uganda is still low. What are some of the problems that you faced in fintech, in Uganda particularly?
Well, like I said, Africa and Uganda is a mobile-only or a mobile-first market, And as innovators, we make sure we urge, for example, when we run the 40 Days for the Fintechs initiative, we urge every single player to make sure that as they develop for smart technology, for the smart devices, they also develop for the basic users that use feature phones. The statistics in Uganda today are that we have about 27 million devices in Uganda, and 6.8 million of these are smartphones. About 60% of these smartphones use internet every week. So meaning a small percentage of about maybe 12% or 14% uses internet every other day. So because of that, you cannot be innovating for inclusiveness, and your first thought is saying I should have the internet connected users. No. We want every user, the same way every person can receive mobile money. We want to make sure that the fintech products are geared towards making sure they help achieving what they call real financial inclusion. And it's the reason why we urge our regulators like UCC to cut down some bit of the costs.
Has technology literacy been one of the challenges?
Well, technology literacy is an upward trend. It is something, technology is fancy, technology is admirable. So sometimes I don't worry about literacy. What I worry about is making sure we have usable products and services. I mean, if you have a product that has to take me through 8 steps before I bank my money, then it's not usable for me. If you have a product that cannot translate into a local language, depending on where people are using it, then I mean, it doesn't make sense to many of the customers, because we need to be mindful of such things. And we are urging everyone in the technology space that we need to begin mapping technology. We need to know someone is in Camden, someone is in Bale, someone is this literate. They cannot read no and yes, but they can read this in their local language. Yeah? And we're even thinking of voice technology to enable financial services get better used. Yeah? And I mean, yes, someone will tell you, if you're talking about Uganda alone, Uganda is an adapter. Ugandans are adapters. 20 years ago, technology was a myth for all of us. I was at Molly and Paul myself, and we had about 5 computers in the director's office. And my job was to go and see them, because I liked computers every time. So I could go and look at them and get excited. And they were working on Linux. Yeah? Yeah. Today, majority of the computers in the world are using Windows. Yeah, they're powered by Windows. Majority of the phones are working on Android and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so I mean, the adoption in Uganda is the only place where you will find a person who never went to P7 using an iPhone better than a graduate. It's only in Uganda. So, and when it comes to gadgets, especially mobile gadgets.
You've on several occasions throughout this interview been mentioning about Uganda's performance in mobile money transactions. Talk about Airtel mobile money, MTN mobile money. It's very evident that Uganda has been outstanding regionally. What do you think gave us an upper hand?
Well, what gives us an upper hand is that, one, Uganda stands to be one of the best places of innovation, the best places of innovation in the world up to today. That's why you have people like high people that have innovated everything in the space. And then we even go ahead to make sure other innovators are given the same space. I mean, by running an initiative like 40 Days for FinTech is saying, I am a TV, but I want all other TVs to be known. It's the same thing. We are a FinTech ourselves, but we want everyone else to be known. Why? Because we believe in Uganda, where we have 67 fintechs that are operating, there is so much for us to gain by making sure the world knows the different innovators in the space, rather than letting them stay silent about everything that is in the space. I mean, advertising, marketing, and public relations is very expensive for most of the players in financial technology. But because it's very expensive, we are seniors at that. We have done that for 15 years. So we say, why don't we actually give them a platform and make sure people know them? So in the end, when fintech becomes a fancy name and an admirable thing for everybody to know, Ugandans take time to dive into it and get to use it. Yeah, but the beauty is that they are already using mobile money. I mean, funny to say, but the easiest way for a man today to get a number from a woman is by asking them for a mobile money number. I mean, when you ask a woman for their number, you annoy them.
Mr. Innocent, I'll ask you the last question. This will be a little bit political in that direction. As a political aspirant in top city in Kampala, one of the major challenges faced economically is unemployment from the young people, and you seem to fall in that category of representation for the young people. Using digital innovations, fintech, and all these fancy sectors that you're coming up with and ideas, how do you intend to solve the problem of unemployment in Kampala? Let's start with Kampala alone.
Thank you, Elijah. The fancy sectors are on the other side very transformative. I'm sure you can testify to that. Today, I'll tell you, I'm sure. Today, mobile innovations are responsible for more than 200,000 direct jobs of mobile money agents. Today. Which other sectors had such capacity? And it may be in the reality sense, such transformative capacity. Which other sector in this country of ours? Yes, farming is the backbone. Agriculture is the thing. I mean, even when we're innovating in technology, we want to innovate for agriculture. But technology, and for my theme, and for my campaign, and my team and everybody, as we talk about digitizing Kampala, we come with a background of understanding what technology has done for us in our space. It was 16 years ago when I told my colleagues in high school that I was going to be a Lord 21, yeah? And part of the things, given the fact that I've been at Hypo for 15 years, part of the things that have happened in my own life is that I have witnessed technology change different sectors every single day. For instance, High People is responsible for having influenced more than 3.7 billion views of local content because of the High People portfolio and the High People Music Awards that we ran over the last 10 years. I mean, if we didn't take the initiative to push every musician to adapt to usage of digital services, YouTube, Facebook, and all those other content delivery platforms, then we wouldn't have that. But we are a population of 42 million people. Yeah. Speaking to employment, it's very true that Ugandans are entrepreneurial, and Ugandans really, really love to work. And the people of Kampala are hard-working people. But the opportunities that there is are disconnected from the people that actually can serve those opportunities. Two, there are very many people who can run businesses with micro capital, about $30, $50, but they have no way of accessing finance.
When you mention disconnection, in terms of opportunities and people, what exactly do you mean?
What I mean by disconnection is Elijah is a good journalist, but he doesn't know who needs him because he has not been profiled. We live in a time of digitization. I mean, I need to have a platform that is authentic. Everyone can trust it. It's a city authority platform, and whoever is eligible, whoever is a Kampala resident and has something to offer for the development of our city is profiled for the same. So that when we want to look for somebody that is a plumber, someone can easily find by a keyword plumber alone and know this one lives in Nansana, this one lives in Chibuye, this one lives in Nakawa, and I can give them a job. In the same way, they can also look for those campaigns and everyone that has opportunities. I mean, we need to do a lot of collaboration going forward. And we cannot collaborate without having information of where we should collaborate.
Very true. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Innocent
thank you so much
for speaking to the viewers of STV this morning. I'll let you say your last word as we conclude.
Sure. Oh, you want me to say my last word?
You can say your last word as we conclude.
Oh, thank you so much. I am glad we had good time here. I see you've set up a very amazing studio, and for the people of Kampala, for the youth, Innocent Kaweya is an innovative, transformative youth like you. And Innocent Kaweya, for those who know me very well, you know I don't say things and I don't do them. It's a blessing for us, and we're thankful to God that officially, by the right criteria of the Electoral Commission, we are first on the ballot paper. And we are going to digitize Kampala, make it a better place. They say nowadays in Kampala, so when you vote Innocent Kaweya for Lord Mayor, be sure you're going to have jobs, you're going to have quality health care, you're going to have quality education, and you're going to have jobs.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you very much,
sure.
Mr. Innocent Kaweya, and good luck in your mayoral race. I do wish you all the best in that race. Well, straight away, we do continue with what's happening in the world of business, and we shall switch to the financial updates and how the Ugandan shilling is performing vis-a-vis other currencies on the global map. The chart will be available to you there, indicating the United States dollar, which is being bought at 3,642 and sold at 3,760. The United Kingdom pound is bought at 4,755 and sold at 4,930. And the Kenyan shilling in the regional spectrum is bought at 32.55 and sold at 34.55. The euro is bought at 4,264 and sold at 4,439. Lastly, is the Tanzanian shilling, which is bought at 0.43 and sold at 0.63. Well, that's how the Ugandan shilling is performing this morning vis-a-vis other currencies. So if you have a foreign currency and you intend to exchange it for the Ugandan shilling, you can run to that Forex Bureau and have that done immediately. Well, that's all we had for you in the financial updates and the business world in general. My name is Elijah Tudiagmanawa, and stay with STV for more updates and informative programs. Good morning.
watching STV. Select for fun.
Credible, bold and accurate. You can trust us to add professional context and in-depth analysis to the web of current affairs every week. Share an experience with those that saw it happen. A blend of opinions from journalists, subject experts, and involved participants. The Newsroom, breaking down the weekly top stories. Join us at 9:30 p.m. every Saturday, only on STV.
At exactly 8:45 p.m. East African Standard Time, join me, Elijah, to Yagmanawe, putting focus on current affairs, be it political, social, or economic news. We shine a spotlight on our beautiful Uganda, the Pearl of Africa, providing information that is age-cutting here on STV with select news.
Hey guys, you're watching STV. Select for fun.
Yes, good morning once again and welcome back from the business world and also international news with Adams Mayambala. It's been a big pleasure having you on board. For those of you that have been part of this amazing show right from 7 until now that we are going to be saying bye-bye to you. Before I do let you go, there's one thing I would like to share with you, and I just came to think about it. There is President wa Ukraine, Zelensky, yaina kazanyo kiyazanya mwaka gwa wakati wa 2014 ne 2019. And yali azanyanga president, eventually namala nafuka president. Then Donald Trump, mwaka gwa 2003, yaina series yazanya ku TV, iranga yali azanyanga CEO. Namala nafuka president, yali azanyanga CEO. Yaina za kantu kiyakolanga yalinga agobanga bwayagala bwafuka president kati ensonga lwanyira tumulaba, he fires and then hires at any time he wants ate nga akikolera ku social media. Then wana Uganda tuyina omuntu yali eyita his excellence the ghetto president wetwogerera ali ku ballot paper. Sometimes dreams come true. My name is Simon Chris Makanga. May the good Lord of Abraham, Isaac and Jacob be with you until we meet tomorrow. For now, it's a good morning.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Tarik, the producers seem to want you to be the second one to say goodbye before me. So please, do the pleasures.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yes, omukisa gumpeddwa okuba nti nsiibula nange sigenda kubanga njogera bingi. Naye ngenda kudda nkola division mu Simon Peace bayogedde nange ngenda kubamba wa version ate endala gyatudde kubanga ayinza okuba n'ensonga gyaggusa. Naye mbadde balabe balungi tubaze okuba nti mbadde naffe Tarik Nkata gemanya ne tovaawo tukomawo enjanja kudda ne version endala ya Simon Chris.
Ladies and gentlemen, now this thing you see on my face is not the most comfortable thing for you to put on at this moment, because after a while you want to take it off and put it down because you're not breathing properly. But hey, this is better than the mask that covers your mouth and face. And for your own protection, if I was you, I would go to those political rallies putting on these masks to make sure that your life is safe, because there's no one better to protect your life than you. My name is Latifa. Hamid, catch you tomorrow on the first show. Same time, same program, same station.